The obsessed compulsive gamer, the O.C.G, and I'm here playing Soul Reaver 2. Hello, Mary. Did you miss me? Huh? I'm gonna give you a right Roger, and I will. Ah, son of a bitch. I just fucking turned into awesome powers. Do I make you horny? Do I make you randy, baby? You've seen Awesome Powers, right? I think we talked about this before. No, Max has seen Awesome Powers. Have you seen Awesome Powers, Mary? Okay, are you fucking with me now? Son of a bitch. Okay. Oh, hey, man. Sorry, I just took a brief break.
Nolan. Nolan.
Yeah, but you were just telling me you don't like fucking the top-down shit, man. Yeah, so is Blood Omen, dog. Ah, shit. Okay, the eye's deactivated. Oh, you bitch. I guess it wasn't. Oh well, shit happens. Gotta hate those big ones. Oh, yeah, you're not getting away. Not today, bro. Not today. But yeah, I do like Diablo 2 and 3. Fuck. And then right as I get... Okay. Okay, I got this. Let's try this again. Yeah, I've got that. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how the fuck I'm gonna swing that. The only way to get that to work is to get across the bridge. Yeah, but now the bridge is the bridge still there? I swear to God. No, okay, then there's got to be some other fucking way then. Hold on. Yeah, if I could get up there, but then how the fuck am I gonna do that? Oh, wait a minute. Can I? No, that doesn't really work either. I'll figure it out. Or maybe I'm overthinking this. Hold on. Aha! Whee! Ba-blam! Suzuki! Woohoo! Time to get the Air Reaver.
As the Reaver drained the forge of its vital energy, the tempest receded. I recovered myself and paused to admire my newly forged weapon, now imbued with the elemental power of air. Thus armed, I hope that I now finally possess the means to escape this wasted land. to obliterate barriers that were cracked or compromised. At last, I had the means to open that ruined time-streaming chamber I discovered so long ago in the swamp. Now, perhaps, I could leave this wasteland and return to an era when Janos Ordrin still lived.
Ah, damn it. Oh yeah, I forgot. When you have the air raver, you're not bogged down. You can just run through the swamp at full speed. Noise. Open up, bitch!
But to act purely on blind faith. There was no way to tell what error this device was tuned to, and I had neither the knowledge nor the means to set the machine myself. I hesitated only briefly. Then, throwing the switch, I hurled myself into oblivion and relinquished my will to the hand of fate.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Fucking that's what he's doing. Looks like you do.
Beyond all hope and against all probability, it seemed that the device had unerringly delivered me to the error I sought. For these were Seraphim banners, and these vampires apparently the victims of their crusade. The coincidence seemed too convenient to naively ascribe to fate. But whether my opportune arrival had been orchestrated by Mobius or some other influence, I didn't know. If Janos Ordran still lived, I would find him. But I was wary of further deception, and resolved to tread carefully.
So first I'm gonna make a little detour. There's a trophy you can get here for coming back to the stronghold early. Ah, damn it. And I believe there's actually another trophy I can get right here. There's a trophy for gliding. for 25 seconds without an updraft. With the height of this chamber and with the fact that you glide slower with the air reaver, I think I'll be able to get it. I guess we're gonna see. So yeah, if I'm gonna do this, I need to do it from as high up as I possibly can. Boom. Ta-da! Open up, motherfucker! Oh no, it's Shades. Hey, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. Shall I comment and subscribe? Oh no, it's a Shade.
For all the butchery of Mobius's crusade, This massacre was somehow more chilling. The killing fields of the Sarafan betrayed a kind of orderly ruthlessness. The cold-blooded righteousness of the true believer.
Another one!
Here at last, in the flesh, I beheld my former brothers in arms, the warrior priests of the Sarafan Order, their lives devoted solely to the annihilation of the vampire plague. And while I confess, I felt a twinge of longing, a pang of grief for what I had believed was my lost virtue, I regarded them now with none of the reverence I formerly felt. For I had seen the human face of the vampires, and now I beheld the monstrousness of these men.
And what's hilarious is that they think he's a vampire. I mean, yeah, he formerly was. Does that look like a fucking vampire to you? Hey, what's this strange thing we've never seen before? I don't know, but kill it! Your brothers are dead, bro. You're done.
The frozen surface of the lake had bound the gates of the stronghold shut. The Sarafan surely had some other means of entry, unknown to me. To infiltrate the fortress, I would need to find some way to release these gates from their icy bonds.
Are you still there, Mary? Are you still there, Alex? So what do you think about Soul Reaver 2, Mary? Ah, damn it. Reach the ledge, motherfucker. Yeah. Is that even the way I'm supposed to go? I don't know. It's so easy to get lost in this fucking tunnel. Damn it! Damn it! Really, bro? Ah, fuck, I didn't see that there. Oh well. No! Fuck, hold on. Yeah, I think I gotta go back a little bit. Come on. There's gotta be a fucking portal around here somewhere. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, hey, you know what's really cool? Something I didn't know, Alex, that I just now figured out? The director of, come on, make it. Yeah, fuck yeah. The director of Blood Omen 2 is actually fucking Glenn A. Schofield, the same guy who's behind Dead Space. I didn't know that. Like, I knew who Glenn Schofield was, I just didn't know he, you know, was involved with Legacy of Kain anyway. I also think you would like Dead Space, Alex. I really do. I think you'd like them a lot. Yeah. Yeah, but they also have a focus on blood, gore, and the macabre. So while they're different in gameplay, they both have like that, you know, unifying trait. You know what I mean? He also was the director for From Russia with Love, the James Bond game with Sean Connery, and that was one of the better Bond games. So, and he did the Callisto Protocol, which I don't care what people say. I love the Callisto Protocol. Super fucking underrated game. What are you talking about? Have you played the Callisto Protocol? It has a lot of gameplay. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say, it's not one of those fucking Telltale-like games, dude. It actually has gameplay that's very similar to Dead Space. Well, I mean, because it was meant to be a successor to Dead Space. It just has a much heavier emphasis on melee combat. But I like the melee combat in the game. You use a fucking stun baton. Ah shit, I wound up going the wrong way. Fuck. Wait, yeah, I think there's a path. There should be. I gotta look around. You're on fucking Callisto, one of the 3 moons of Jupiter. It's got Josh Duhamel in the lead. I really like Josh Duhamel, and that was one of the only games, if not the only game he's ever done. If you've seen the live-action Transformer movies, Josh Duhamel is the main army guy in those. Or at least he was in the first 3. I didn't watch any. I didn't watch the ones with Mark Wahlberg. Just never got around to it. It's not like I didn't want to. I like the Transformers movies and I like Mark Wahlberg, so I'm sure I would like the 4th and the 5th one. I just never got around to it. Okay, motherfucker, there's got to be. Where am I? Hold on. Yeah, I gotta look for way upwards, and I'm missing it. I'm fucking spurging. Hey, doing my SS, I think that's fine. Hey, doing my doesn't get anything. I think that's fine. I know there's a path here I'm missing. Oh, that's the way out of the swamp. That's not where I want to go. I know what fucking path I should take. I just don't remember exactly where it is. Fuck me. Where's that fucking pathway? Oh my god, where is it? I feel like I'm fucking going insane. Like, I should have seen it like 5 times by now. Ah, there it is. Fuck. You know what? Oh well, it is what it is. There should be a air vent thing around here. Oh, there it is. Fuck me. I did not see that. Yeah, whatever. All's well that ends well. To Ustenheim, the most German-sounding name in existence. Honestly, a pretty quaint, pretty nice place to live, all things considered. Well, you know, before it got fucked up, but yeah. Like, in this state, yeah. Wouldn't mind living here. Yeah, that's fair. Nothing wrong with that, though. Well, I mean, kind of the other way around, but yeah, I see what you're saying. This game predates Skyrim by about 10 years. This game came out in 2001. Which, man, 2001 was a big fucking year for gaming, for real. Obviously, there are big games that come out every year, but there are always some years that are more packed than others. And man, 2001 was fucking insane. Metal Gear Solid 2. Silent Hill 2. Well, the original Silent Hill 2. Ico. Gran Turismo 3, which is the most, beloved Gran Turismo game. There's a lot more than that I can't think of now, but 2001 was just a fucking insanely jam-packed year for gaming. Jack 1, yeah, there you go. Jack 1. Yeah, oh yeah, shit. Dude, I totally forgot. Yeah, 2001 was the year Halo came out. The first Halo, which was a landmark game for console FPS. 2001 was the launch of the GameCube, so it's when Luigi's Mansion came out and Pikmin. There's a lot of shit coming out in 2001. No, GameCube 2001 and Xbox. One of the big things that Sony did was they beat GameCube to the punch. They beat GameCube Microsoft to the punch by 1 year. Oh yeah, shit. Grand Theft Auto 3 came out in 2001. That was a landmark game. Morrowind came out for PC in 2001. It came to Xbox a year later, but it came to PC in 2001.
After my long journey, I finally stood on the threshold of enlightenment. For here was Janos Audrin's mountain retreat, intact and unblemished. The upheaval that would one day topple this ancient edifice had not yet occurred. And while I had no certainty that Janos still lived, this scene boded well, for I presumed that the collapse of the retreat must have followed the ancient vampire's demise. There was only one obstacle. How to reach the balcony suspended at that maddening height, so far beyond my reach. For this was the architecture of winged creatures. The tattered ruins of my wings were of no use. I would need to devise some other means into that mountain.
Yeah, I have. I own the remake of it on Xbox. Yeah, you probably would. Not really. They're each kind of standalone. You get references and shit, but if you're gonna play a series, I would recommend starting with Diablo 2 or 1. 1 is really kind of outdated by today's standards, but each Diablo game made huge improvements. So if you play 2 after 3, it's gonna feel dated as fuck. A lot. Dude, Diablo is the fucking game that made those a thing. And the remake of Diablo 2 is like this game. Actually, I think Diablo 2 is on sale right now. For PS5. I thought I saw it on the store. You have to check to make sure, but I think it is on sale. And Diablo 2 is like this game. You can toggle between the old and new graphics with a press of a button. Blood Bridge. Yeah, I bet it did. Thankfully, that's not really an issue anymore.
The mountain's interior was hollow, I discovered. and graced with soaring architecture unique to its creators. As with the outer facade, these balconies and galleries could only be reached by those gifted with flight. With only my ruined wings to carry me, this towering labyrinth seemed impassable. The object of my quest lay just beyond my grasp. For here, suspended at the apex of the chamber, was the threshold that surely led to the great vampire himself. I didn't know whether Janos Ordrum was the monster depicted in the stronghold, or one of the noble creatures memorialized among the ruins of the ancient vampires. And I didn't care. Demon or angel, he alone held the key to my destiny.
One big ass cup of blood coming up. I'm beginning to notice a theme. Ah, damn it. Ah, shit, I didn't see that eye, fuck. Oh fuck, there's a portal right there. It blended in with the blue of the ice. Okay, I gotta figure out a way to get to the Dark Forge. Ah, son of a whore. There was another bridge there I didn't make. Fuck. Or did I already get that? Ah, I think I did. Fuck. Oh well. Gotta figure out a way to get to the fucking... Dark Forge right there. Oh, here we go. It's like, we get it, Janos. You're a vampire, okay? It doesn't mean you make fucking everything out of blood. It's like, you're one of those people who puts their whole personality based off of some shit, aren't you? Aren't you? I just know you are. Even Dracula would be like, God damn, that's a lot of blood. See, like, this whole retreat is peak fucking level design. Really is. Like, shit like this is how you do fucking puzzles. In a way that's fun and engaging. Because it's not like I don't like puzzles, I just... It's hard for me to explain, but I like puzzles in games that have a lot of moving shit around. If it's like an esoteric thing, like, put in this code here, or use this zodiac symbol, I'm like, eh. But if it's something like you push and pull a lot of shit around, and you can fidget with it, I like it, generally. And you know, you've heard about Janos Uldren in every single fucking game in the series. But you never actually see him until this game, so you meeting him is a big fucking moment in the franchise. Thankfully, he does not disappoint. Yeah. They mention him in Blood Omen, they mention him in Soul Reaver 1, but you never actually meet him until this game. And even in the first game, even in Blood Omen 1, they straight up say, reputed to be the greatest vampire who ever lived. So they really build him up. And thankfully they do not disappoint. He's really cool. He is almost angelic. And a kind, gentle soul. But not because he's a pussy. Like, he's one of the strongest vampires who ever lived. He could fucking obliterate people. You know? Just about any fucking vampire. And any person. He just chooses not to. He just wants to be left alone. So, you know, he comes across as, I mean, well, as he is, but as a fucking, one of the few truly good vampires, and one of the few truly good people in this whole series. No, it's not. Most of the people in the series are dickheads. You got that much right. The whole thing about this game is shades of gray. But Janos is truly a good person. Like, a really good person. Like I said, like, he's incredibly gentle and nice, I guess is the word to use. Even though he doesn't have to be. Like, he can literally pretty much kill anything and anyone. Like, he's... Cain is fucking insanely strong by this point. He was already a gifted vampire, and he's been alive now for thousands of years. And he is not even as strong as Janos Uldren. Janos Uldren has, like, been alive for, like, at least 10,000 years. And these are... kind of... It's complicated. More like he had a troubled past forced upon him. Not really due to anything he did, but due to the hands that he was fucking dealt, pretty much. Ah, shit, I forgot about the eye. Because, see, in the lore of Legacy of Kain, vampires were not always like this. They were the first species of the earth. And they didn't have bloodlust or anything like that. And they worshipped the Elder God that Raziel was revived by, who is the god of death. And his whole thing is, you know, the wheel of fate, the wheel of souls. People die, he recycles their soul, and they get reincarnated. That's what he does. So, they revered death. Because it meant being part of their creator and playing a role in his cycle, their god cycle. But they were fighting this race of people called the Hilden. And the Hilden were immortal. They couldn't die. And that really pissed off the Elder God. And so the Elder God had the vampires wage war with the Hilden on his behalf. Even though he should have just left them alone. And a lot of the vampires didn't think it was a good idea. Rightfully so. But they, you know, he's like, oh, he's our god, and he's telling us to, so they waged a brutal fucking centuries-long war with the fucking Hilden. And they were able to essentially create the pillars that you see in all the games to trap the Hilden in a different dimension, to get rid of them, because they couldn't find a way to kill them, because they were effectively fucking immortal. So they found a way to trap them, and that the pillars were the base. And it, essentially, over time, that realm became hell. Because it was the realm they trapped them in was not supposed to be inhabited. And it was a nasty place, and it basically transformed them into demons. Over time, they were eroded. But their final big fucking counterstroke was at about the same time that the vampires sealed them in the pillars. They cursed the vampires to fiend for blood and to be immortal, because for the vampires, being immortal was a punishment. If they couldn't die, they could no longer be with their god of death and join in the wheel and be reincarnated. So to them, immortality wasn't a gift, it was a fucking curse, and it drove them to madness. On top of which, the whole land was fucking wrecked by the battle between the two races. So, the whole battle was wrecked by the two races. Like, the whole Earth, Nazgoth, was fucked. Their battle, like, destroyed much of the Earth. Because there's, like, two incredibly strong races beating the shit out of each other and using fucking magic. So, not only did there have to be healing that was done, but the pillars had to be maintained. They had to have guardians for each of the 9 pillars, otherwise the Hilden would come back. And then everything that they lost would be for nothing and they would all be fucked. So the vampires, in extremely small numbers, were forced to feed on the Hilden. Not the Hilden, I'm sorry. Humans. To stay alive. It was kind of a necessary evil thing, because if there wasn't guardians, vampire guardians, maintaining the pillars constantly, the Hilden would come back and kill everyone. But the vampires of that age just killed what was necessary to survive. They weren't bloodthirsty. And it was literally like, you know, it was up to them, they would die. But the pillars had to be maintained. So, then, they, you know, over time vampires would die or whatever, so they would recruit humans into the pillars. But the humans, you know, they turned into vampires. Humans eventually rebelled and killed the vampires, not really listening to them that they were needed to keep basically hell at bay. And the humans became the guardians of the pillars. Their magic wasn't strong enough, and so it created cracks that gradually allowed the Hilden to get through and started causing all the crazy shit. So Janos Uldren was one of the very few people that was actually alive during the start of all this. So he knew what it was like to not have bloodlust, to be a regular person. He saw the terrible, terrible war that was waged for hundreds of years between them that destroyed much of the Earth. He was revulsed by having to consume blood, but wasn't allowed to die because he needed to maintain the pillar. He was one of the first, if not the very first pillar guardian, one of the 9 pillar guardians, the first 9. And then he saw human beings not listen to the vampires, not, oh, you know, you need us, and kill them, kill off his race. And he knew exactly what would happen, that without, you know, vampires to guard the pillars, that they would be fucked. And so he has seen a lot of shit, and because of all the shit that he's seen, he just prefers to live by himself. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He is just a nice, chill dude who constantly got forced into situations that he did not belong in, that he didn't deserve. And he dies, which you know that he dies because in the first game, the Heart of Darkness is what heals you, and they talk about how it was Janos Uldren's chest that was ripped from him. So you knew along that he died. That's like the whole point why Raziel time traveled to come back to when he was alive. But you don't really understand the circumstances of why he fucking died. And what it meant until this game. Because Vordor, who is the second oldest vampire on Earth, and, you know, Janos Uldren turned him, so he's Janos Uldren. Vordor's Janos Uldren's protege. Loved Janos Uldren like a father, and he was his only companion for thousands of years. And when the humans started genociding the vampires, Mordor wanted to kill them. But, Janos like, no, just leave him alone. We don't need more bloodshed, it's already bad enough. We'll just go into hiding. We'll just, And Mordor and Janos were in hiding for ages. And then due to fucking... the human Pillar Guardians being bloodthirsty, they just relentlessly pursued Janos. And eventually they killed him. And ripped out his fucking heart. And paraded it around. And... them doing that is what caused Mordor to fucking snap and kill all of the Pillar Guardians. And that's the very first thing you ever see in the series, is Mordor rushing into the circle and killing them all. Because he had fucking enough. And, him doing that, is what sets the entire series in motion, because Cain is born as the ninth Guardian, the Balance Guardian, to replace Ariel. And he wouldn't have been born, there would be no need for him to be born if Mordor hadn't killed them all, because as soon as the Guardians are killed, instantly new ones are born to take their place. And his murder of the Circle and all that allowed fucking the Hilden to take a firmer grip on the land, and they infected Mortanius, and made him crazy, like they possessed him, and he fucking killed Ariel. And Ariel, her lover was Nupraptor, who, like, each Guardian has, like, special powers, this, that, yada, yada, yada. Ariel was the Balance Guardian, balance in all things, that's why her pillar's in the middle. But Nupraptor was the Guardian of the Mind, and when he found out that Ariel was dead, she was his lover, and, he knew that one of the Circle had to do it. And I mean, he was right. He didn't know who did it, but he knew one of the Circle did it. Crazed with grief, loses his fucking mind and uses his psychic powers to drive all of the Guardians insane. Because that was his specialty. And corrupted them. Over his lover being murdered. Which is why Cain, the whole plot of Blood Omen 1 is Cain having to fucking kill them. So, and yeah, extremely long-winded, my apologies for that. But the whole fucking, the whole reason I'm explaining this to you is because Janos Uldren and his death is pretty much the single inciting factor that sets into motion everything else in this entire series. It's a really big fucking deal. Yeah, no dude, I told you, the story of the Legacy of Kain is fucking amazing. So, in this game, when you actually get to see Janos Uldren, you get to meet him and find out he's a chill dude, and his backstory, because you'd only heard of him, that he was a great vampire, you never knew anything more about him, and you see why Mordor snapped, and you're like, oh shit, now I know why it happened. It's a huge fucking moment in the story. And it's one of the great things that this game did, because after spending 3 games building him up, they had to make, when you finally met him, really important, and they succeeded. And, you know, it hits really fucking hard because after seeing, after seeing that Janos was one of the only truly good people in this fucking series, the fact that he gets the most brutal, unnecessary fucking death, literally is tortured and has his fucking heart ripped out and paraded around, is just really fucking tragic. Because if there's anybody who didn't deserve that, it was fucking him. You know, and a lot of the time, a lot of the people in this game are assholes. You know what I mean? It's shades of gray. And so if something bad happens to them or they die, it's like, I don't care. But he was one of the truly good people. And all he really tried to do was keep the pillars in check because, remember, if he didn't, literal fucking hell would spill out and kill them all. And, you know, not just, like, his death was the final fuck you. You know what I mean? Because his whole life was filled with bullshit. Being cursed. Having to take part in a war he didn't want to take part in for hundreds of years. Being hunted down by humans. Watching the vampires get genocided. Them not listening to him. When he told them, hey, you guys need us. We need to be around. We're all gonna die if we're not here to protect the pillars. And then, you know, getting tracked down in his stronghold when he was just fucking living in solitude and just wanted to be left alone, you know, it's just the final fuck you. And when you see that, you understand why Border snapped. Because that, you know, he knew Janos' history, he knew Janos' backstory, and he was tempted many times to attack the humans when they were fucking killing them all, and Janos was like, no, don't do it, no, don't do it. And he's like, you know, we don't need more bloodshed, and the whole time he's talking fucking Vordor out of it, and then they fucking torture his master and kill him in front of him. Rip his fucking heart out and parade it around. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can get it. I would be pretty fucking upset too. So, you know, it's just like a massive plot revelation that like makes you see the preceding shit in a new light, and makes you understand the other games a lot more. Blam! And yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I love Legacy of Kain. The story is insanely deep and filled with so many characters and timelines and events that wrap around and do. There's so many fucking layers. And I mean, the story is still amazing to this day, but in the 90s when these games first came out, the story was fucking groundbreaking. You just didn't have, you know, a deep, M-rated fucking game with that complex and in-depth of a story in 1996. Like, it was a fucking master, it was like a revelation of storytelling. It's one of the games that pushed games to have more in-depth, in detail of the storytelling to begin with. Blam! And what's crazy is when you see Janos, he's almost like Raziel, but where Raziel looks demonic, Janos looks Beautiful.
Janos Audrin.
It is heartening after all these years to hear my name spoken without contempt.
Raziel?
My child, what have they done to you?
I have been dragged through hell and back. All it seems to reach this moment. But I don't yet know why.
For thousands of years I have waited, alone here, losing faith. At the time of the binding, 9 guardians were called to serve the pillars, and I was summoned as the 10th guardian, the keeper of the Reaver, the weapon of our salvation. Over time, our race died out, until I alone remained, sustained only by my obligation to you and by my guardianship of the blade.
And the other 9? Why did their guardianship not sustain them?
I don't know. As our race dwindled, the humans prospered. I have watched over the centuries as our history faded into myth and finally receded altogether. The humans have forgotten us entirely and claimed the pillars for themselves, wholly ignorant of their true purpose. To them, I am merely a devil, the origin of their vampire plague.
Why would the pillars summon human guardians then, if they are meant to be served by vampires?
The pillars choose their guardians from birth, Raziel, and vampires are no longer born. This is the crux of our dilemma, and this is the terrible irony. With their vampire purge, the members of the Circle have assaulted the very architects of the pillars they are sworn to protect. They have embarked on a treacherous path. With every vampire they kill, the humans are slitting their own throats. They know I'm up here, beyond their reach, and it terrifies them. You can see how they flaunt their kills to torment me. Or perhaps simply to lure me out. They have this foolish notion that destroying me will somehow topple our entire bloodline. Thankfully, we're not that fragile.
I've seen them mustering their forces in the village below.
Yes. I don't know what they're plotting, but I fear our time may be bitterly short.
Mankind seems to have brought you only torment and grief. You must hate them.
They fear what they don't understand, and they despise.
See, after all this time, he still doesn't hate them after everything they've done to him. He's just a super chill fucking guy. Like, you see, he's super elegant, he's well-spoken, he's just super chill. So, like, the fact that they've been such fucking dicks to him is just really tragic.
What they fear. But no, I do not hate them.
Vorador does.
He has suffered much. He cannot forgive them.
Should they be forgiven?
They don't understand what they're doing. They are simply unenlightened and vulnerable to manipulation.
So, it's all true then, what Cain and Vorador have told me. I really am some kind of unholy vampire messiah.
Unholy? No. Messiah, perhaps.
I don't like that word. It smells of martyrdom.
Raziel, your role in this world's destiny is more crucial and more benevolent than you've allowed yourself to believe. Your journey will not be easy. Dark powers are allied against you. But I think you already know this. You appear to have been cruelly tested. The binding must be secured, Raziel. The pillars are the lock.
And the Reaver is the key.
Yes.
And now you understand why the Reaver is so important.
nothing.
The most formidable weapon ever forged by our swordsmiths.
Because when you first get the Soul Reaver in Blood Omen 1, they say, we don't know where the Reavers come from or its history. Now you're figuring out why it's so important, why this sword's so fucking special.
They infused the blade with vampiric energy, empowering the Reaver to drain our enemies of their precious lifeblood.
As Janos presented the blade, an inexplicable sense of dread crept over me, more palpable than anything I'd felt before.
And oh my god, we are coming up on the mother of all twists. Oh good, I'm glad you're here to see it. I'm glad both of you are, because Soul Reaver 2 has one of the biggest mindfuck plot twists in gaming history. And I haven't mentioned it yet, I'm not gonna. It is a what the fuck moment.
I was at once horribly repelled by the sword, and yet irresistibly compelled
Yeah, exactly.
to take it up. Please, take it away from me.
I fear you have been followed. You must save yourself, Raziel. Janos! No!
Even him dying, even Janos Oldrin dying, was to save Raziel. He could have fled.
My surroundings whirled sickeningly, and I found myself transported safely away from the ambush to an adjacent chamber. Janos had delivered me from the Sarafan, selflessly forfeiting his own safety to preserve my life. And now I fear that my newfound mentor would be slaughtered by the very crusaders I had so recently revered.
See, he's willing to die.
Pierced me, and with dawning horror, I realized that I had been duped by Mobius from the beginning. For the Sarafan had simply followed the path I gullibly blazed through the sanctuary, and had arrived bearing Mobius' staff. Thus armed, they had Janos at their mercy.
Yeah, Mobius' staff.
I could hear
Mobius' staff disables vampires' powers. That's one of the reasons why they were able to kill Janos.
may as well have been 1,000 miles. This barrier was sealed by elemental forces I did not possess. It seemed Janos had conveyed me into the heart of the fire shrine.
And even then, even with the fucking staff, it still took an entire army of them to kill Janos.
And imbue the Reaver in time, I might have a slim chance of saving Janos from his grisly fate.
Damn it. Oh well. Yeah, you gotta keep the torch out of the blood. And it's also funny because you constantly see murals throughout this game and the rest of the series of fucking Janos Oldrin. And he's portrayed as just being fucking evil. Like the evilest of the vampires. And then when you actually meet him, you see like how badly he was fucking misrepresented. Like they were running a fucking smear campaign on him, basically. Fucking Mobius. And I mean, you already knew Mobius was a piece of shit. But after this game, you have a newfound hatred for fucking Mobius. Yeah, pretty much. I know there's something I'm supposed to do. Oh, wait a minute. I keep forgetting. You can... no, never mind. Can I climb on that pillar? Nope, I cannot. Okay. Let me look around. There's gotta be something I can hit with the light reaver. Yeah, let me try getting another torch. Maybe that'll cause the shit to rise again. Or maybe I can throw the torch. Yeah, there's a brazier over there. Oh, no shit, okay. I totally missed that crystal. Okay, here we go. Now I can do what I did before. And then use that to activate the air funnels that will carry me over. Ha ha ha! Let there be fire! Come on. Woo! The power of fire, baby! Yeah, I was gonna see DJ Gaming. I'm gonna save here. And reload that save to get full health. I have the power!
I plunged the Reaver into that furnace and forged the blade with elemental fire. With the Reaver thus imbued, I was now armed to unlock the elemental barrier and rescue Janos from his executioners.
God, even the sound of the fireblade's cool. I'm coming, Janos! Oh, yeah, you see, Razio didn't even fucking wait for the door open, man.
Look at his black heart. How it still beats.
The fiend intends to bury us alive. Razio, we must get out of here.
That's fucking Razio, he's a human! He's the one that killed Janos when he was a human. And that's just part of the twist. That right there in and of itself was a mind fuck. Like, oh my god, it's me! What the fuck?
Forgive me. I'm sorry. I failed you. No, Razia. Perhaps this was my true purpose. Simply
Oh, wait.
save your life this once.
Just wait.
I have taken yours. Embrace your destiny, Razia. You must reclaim the Reaver. It was forged for you and you alone. Without it, there is no hope.
Ah, poor Janos, man.
As I backed away from Janos' body, I was overwhelmed by a sense of self-loathing so deep I could barely contain it. rejected all that I ever was, and embraced the role Janos had safeguarded for me so patiently throughout the centuries. I knew then what I had to do, a task for which I was uniquely prepared. I would pursue the Sarafan dogs to their loathsome fortress and avenge Janos Ordrin's murder. Mobius would pay dearly for his treachery, and my Sarafan brethren would reap the horrors they had sown. I would retake the stolen Reaver, which was rightfully mine. And finally, when all these debts had been paid, I would reclaim Janos Ordrin's heart from their filthy, unworthy hands. If the heart was truly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife, its highest purpose was clear to me. I would restore the heart to Janos, and thus undo the vile crime committed by my abominable former self.
Now we're getting to the final push of Soul Reaver 2's story, where shit starts to get really fucking intense.
We've been expecting you, little Raziel.
So, these demonic pests were not merely the product of Nosgoth's corrupted future, for here they were, hurtling back over 5 centuries to pursue me. These creatures, I suspected, were minions of the unseen forces that had hoped to control me. This was the tangible expression of their displeasure. These demons were unleashed as the penalty for my disobedience.
Oh no, what am I gonna do? Thank you for watching, I really appreciate you.
Let me enlighten you.
And this whole time, I fought a bunch of demons that never talked. And then when you see them, like, oh shit! Wow, they actually can talk and think the whole time. And it goes back to what Kane said. He's like, dude, there are dark forces that are trying to fucking kill us. Watch out. And he's like, oh shit, okay. Who are you talking about working together? Oh, yeah. No, yeah, I agree. It's really interesting how their relationship shifts throughout the series. From, you know, Raziel being Kane's most loved lieutenant to him being betrayed. To him hating Kane's guts, to eventually working with Kane. Plus, that's another reason I love Defiance. Because, you know, in Soul Reaver 1 and 2, you play as Raziel, and Blood Omen 1 and 2, you play as Kane and Defiance. Both their storylines meet up and you play as them both. And of course, they each have different gameplay. When I first played this game, I was like, what the fuck? They can talk? You know, the demons, because like up until now you fought a bunch of them, they're like, they're sentient? And like their dialogue is awesome. It's like, come closer. And you know, it's creepy. And it like adds like a whole new layer to their character. It's like now we don't just have the mortal realm and the spectral realm, we've got fucking demons! From a gameplay and level perspective, I don't like Soul Reaver 2 as much as Soul Reaver 1. Soul Reaver 1 had all those secrets and optional shit, and Soul Reaver 2 is just completely linear. And I feel like they lean too much on the combat in Soul Reaver 2, and there's too much needless backtracking. So from a gameplay and level perspective, I don't like Soul Reaver 2 as much as Soul Reaver 1. But goddamn, does the fucking story in Soul Reaver 2 hit so hard. In my opinion, it is the apex of the whole series. Like, I like Defiant's story. I don't like it as much as Soul Reaver 2. Soul Reaver 2 is fucking peak storytelling for the series. And a series that's, you know, fucking beloved for its storytelling. Like, you know, when you get to the real nitty-gritty of it, man, Soul Reaver 2's story hits so fucking hard. I just wish that they, you know, all the problems with Soul Reaver 2 basically came about because it was rushed. They were originally going to have like a full, massive overworld. You know, like Soul Reaver 1. And then they had to cut that because Eidos wanted the games out now. And that, god damn it, they did that to all of them. Every fucking Legacy of Kain game cut out some content, usually a lot, because they were all fucking rushed. Every one of them. You know, and it's fucking maddening that they just kept doing that. Because, you know, in Soul Reaver 1, you're backtracking a lot in that game too, but you're backtracking to find new shit. You know what I mean? You're backtracking to find new secrets. And Soul Reaver 2, you're just backtracking just to backtrack. You know what I'm saying? So it's not nearly as satisfying. And they intended for it to have all these optional places and all that, and they just didn't have the time. So all that shit had to get cut. which fucking sucks. And then because they had less areas, they had to lean harder on the combat, which is the weakest part of Legacy of Kain, always has been. And, you know, there's just so much fighting in this game to the point where by the end I was just running past the enemies. You know, Soul Reaver 1 didn't have amazing combat either, but it didn't lean on it nearly as heavily because it didn't have to, you know? I think Soul Reaver, like I said, I love it and I hate Soul Reaver 2. I love the story. I think it is the pinnacle of the series. And that's in a series known for having exceptionally strong storytelling. It's one of the greatest fucking tales ever penned. But, you know, then you see all the shortcomings. The lack of optional shit. The over-reliance on combat. The fucking mandatory backtracking. And it sucks. And yeah, exactly. And you have to remember that not only did they make Soul Reaver 2 in 2 years, but they had to, first they were making it for Dreamcast and PS1, and then they were told, no, we need a game for PS2. So they had to overhaul it to PS2, and then they had to learn about how to code for PS2. So, like, they spent a lot of that development time of that 2 years making shit for Dreamcast, and oh no, we gotta make it for PS2, and then having to learn how to make shit for PS2. Wow, 11 people watching me. Fucking awesome. Thank you so much for watching me. You know? And so honestly, they pretty much made the core of what Soul Reaver 2 is in a year. Okay? So honestly, we're knowing that the incredibly rushed development of this game and all the hurdles and having to restart it, it is a fucking miracle that Soul Reaver 2 wound up being as good as it is and being a phenomenal game. You know, because they were literally making a new engine and learning how to program for a brand new console generation, because this came out like in the first year of PS2, all in a fucking year. But it sucks, because if this game had been given the same amount of time that Soul Reaver 1 had been given, it would have unquestionably been the best Legacy of Kain game, bar none. And it sucks because I love the gameplay so much more in Soul Reaver 1, but in Soul Reaver 2, the fucking story in the world is just so much better. And then fucking, oh god, Blood Omen 2 got fucking rushed. And then Defiance got rushed. They had to cut shit out of Defiance. You know, and like Defiance, I love Defiance, but then I hated the fixed camera angles, so it's like, they were constantly held back by the fucking studio, and I think that is the most important thing, okay? If they do, even Blood Omen 2, like I've told you before, my problems with Blood Omen 2 is the story, and just the total lack of collaboration, and all the fucking continuity errors. That is also due to them rushing the series out. Because they were demanding them to make the game so fast that they had to just get out Blood Omen 2. And they were having to constantly change the plans for Soul Reaver 2 to fit the new design and what they could do with them, you know, the ambition when they decided to make the game linear and not Metroidvania like Soul Reaver 1. They had to then redesign the story and all the shit they planned And then that fucking Blood Omen 2, causing all these issues where they couldn't collaborate and couldn't work on with the story they were doing. And then unfortunately, like for example, Soul Reaver 2 was supposed to come out after Blood Omen 2. After! And it came out the year before. So, like, ideally, Soul Reaver 2 would have come out in, like, 2003. You know, and then if they hadn't fucking rushed them, there wouldn't have been any of the continuity errors, because they would have had time to get the story straight and sync up. And this game could have been so much more. And I say that in a way that sounds disparaging, but I really do still love Soul Reaver 2. It just sucks because every single fucking game was rushed. And it's like they just did not learn their fucking lesson. And, you know, the games were so great in spite of them being rushed.
You have failed me, Raziel.
I wonder, Old One, did you truly resurrect me, or were you simply there when I awakened from my torment in the abyss? I suspect you found me merely convenient, dropped in your lair by Cain, indestructible for some reason, a durable and gullible tool for you to manipulate. This one thing I readily admit. I have been used by others time and again, but always I seem to stray from their path. What is it about me, demon, that makes me such an unreliable instrument? Why do I survive one trial after another, on and on, in an endless succession of humiliating deaths and resurrections? It seems there is much more to my destiny and my history than I know. Perhaps more than you know as well.
You know, and the fact that the whole series was as great as it was, despite being rushed, is just a testament to how fucking great the people working at them are, you know? And that's the most important thing to me. If they get to do a new Legacy of Kain game, or even a remake, you know, like a reimagining, not like a overhaul graphically, but like a total reimagining for modern standards for Blood Omen, because I mean obviously you've started Blood Omen, is that whatever they do, if it's a brand new game, if it's a remake, or a reimagining would be more appropriate, that they need to take their fucking time and avoid the mistake of all the other ones. And I hope that Embracer, which is a studio that I'm already not overly fond of because their CEO is a piece of shit that is notorious for mass closing studios, and his incompetence resulted in the biggest layoff of game studios at one time in history. 50 studios in a year. Like, no shit. Because he couldn't get it in a written fucking contract. I'm worried that they will try to rush out whatever it is and repeat the mistake. That's my biggest concern for anything new. That they will fuck it up. Because, like I said, Embracer was notorious for closing down studios because Embracer wanted to merge with this other company that we don't even know who that other company was. But in order to merge with this other company, so the other company told them, well, you need to buy more studios and then we'll merge with you. Which is fine. It's fine, you know. That happens all the time, you know. That's all fine and good. It happens all the time in the gaming industry. Like, well, we know if we're gonna merge with you, you need to be bigger. It's happened several times before. But the key fucking mistake is that Lars Winifred, that's his name, I think. I'm pretty sure that's his name. I know it's his name, but I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's Swedish. Did not get them to agree to that deal in fucking writing. he got a verbal agreement, which in the legal world and the corporate world is basically fucking useless. So this stupid motherfucker was purchasing studios for a deal that hadn't even been fully fucking confirmed in ink. And not only that, he wasn't even telling the studios this. He didn't say, well, we're going to buy you, but just so you know, this deal might not go through, and then we're going to shut you down if it doesn't. No, he told them he didn't tell them anything about the merger. He just said, we're going to buy you, and they're like, oh, okay. So he basically lied to these companies.
Traitor.
I'm just trying to see all the dialogue that comes through. And then, when the partner backed out, they then had all these studios that they couldn't afford to keep and had to lay them off. So it resulted in the single biggest layoff in video game history. 50 fucking studios. And it's like, how fucking dumb can you possibly be? You know, I'm not like a super savvy businessman. I don't know the corporate world, but I feel like it should just be a fucking given that you get that shit in fucking writing. And fucking all of those studios closed down. Countless studios, like really good studios, could have been fucking avoided. All of it could have been avoided if he just got that shit in fucking writing or he didn't bother. They were studios that had been purchased for less than 6 months that didn't even get to make a single game after the fucking acquisition. So it's not like, well, they released a game and it didn't do well. They didn't even get a chance. And I know the whole, Soul Reaver thing is technically unrelated to the layoffs, but I'm saying this is the guy running this company, and he's in charge of whatever goes on, and he's a fucking idiot. So, ultimately, whatever Crystal Dynamics tries to do for this series is under his fucking whims, and that's frightening to me. So I hope, that if they're going to look at the series, and we need to relaunch Legacy of Kain for a new day. If it's more remasters, if it's reimagining of Blood Omen, if it's a new game, the canceled game that was supposed to be the sequel to Defiance, Dark Prophecy is what it was called. Whatever they do, they need to give it the proper time to fucking cook. That's the most important thing. That's what I'm saying. I don't care if it takes a long time. Okay? But for the first time in fucking 2 decades, there is actual hope that a new Legacy of Kain game will exist. So it is like of the greatest importance that whatever comes next, a reimagining, a new game, another remaster, whatever comes next, it has to be fucking amazing and deliver on all cylinders, okay? Because them remastering these and doing a great job on them, going above and beyond, them re-releasing Blood Omen 2, and making them available cheaply on the PlayStation Store, has, for the first time, actually opened the door for a sequel. Because for ages, Crystal Dynamics tried to get a sequel off the ground. They tried to convince Activision to make a sequel when they were owned by Activision. They tried to convince Square Enix to make a sequel, and they almost did. It was called Dead Sun. There was literally a fucking Legacy of Kain game that was almost finished for PS4 and Xbox One. It would have been an early launch title. Looked fucking awesome. And they canceled it. So now, the stars fucking aligned, and there's actually a real chance to make it happen. And it all fucking rests on this. If that game is not fucking amazing and finished from top to bottom, they will have already fucking killed the series again. Like, it is of the greatest importance that whatever they release next, if it's a reimagining of Blood Omen for a modern audience, if it's a new game, or whatever, it has to fire on all cylinders or they're fucked. So, if it takes a long time to come out, it takes a long time to come out. What's most important is that it's fucking awesome when it does come out. That's most important.
He thinks he can change.
I never do. And I have such a, it's like in such a weird place, because on one hand, I am like, there's more hope for actual fucking new game to come out than there ever has been in decades, but at the other time, the people running the fucking show are dumb as shit. Well, I'm not talking about Chris Dynamics, I'm talking merely about the guy who runs the show, Lars Winifred. So it's like, I'm like, there's actual hope, but I'm also afraid that they're gonna rush it out and fuck it up, or God forbid they try to make it for a modern audience. Oh, God. It needs to be 1 million fucking percent faithful to what Legacy of Kain is. They do not need to change the core. Obviously, the gameplay can be updated, of course. Games that are 20 years old, close to 30 years old, obviously, that needs to be updated. The gameplay. But the spirit, the tone, the aesthetic, the type of dialogue, all of that needs to be maintained and exactly like the original games. Okay? Because if they try to make it for modern audiences, they will essentially be fucking themselves before they even get started. Not to mention the fact that honestly, and I've talked about this before, Legacy of Kain was kind of ahead of the curve. They were doing vampires before vampires were cool. Vampires now in pop culture are fucking bigger than they have ever been. Like, obviously people have loved vampires since, Bram Stoker's Dracula, but they hit a new fever pitch with Twilight, whether you like Twilight or not. So, vampires weren't fucking in and super cool when the games originally came out. They were ahead of the curve. Now, vampires are bigger than ever before. The Vampire Diaries came out, the show, and not the Vampire Diaries, I'm sorry, the Vampire Chronicles, Anne Rice, and those are fucking huge now. So proving there is a huge interest for vampires. So if you make a fucking game, a cool gothic game with vampires, for adults, it's going to do really fucking well. But you have to stay true, because if they try to make it for modern audiences, and turn fucking Kain into an emo twink, they might as well just fucking take Kain out back and... Ah, God, you fucking dick. God, I hate these fucking douchebags. I'm also worried about who they're gonna get to write the fucking shit. because, you know, all the games besides Blood Omen 2 were fucking written by Amy Hennig, and she's currently busy with Marvel 1943. And I'm sure that would be fucking amazing and looks good, and I'm interested in it because of her. But, you know, she's kind of unavailable to do Soul Reaver, or whatever they do next. And she's a large part of why the writing was great. You know, and there also, you know, there's a push in the gaming industry for open world games, and I love open world games, but there are definitely places where open world games don't fit. But in Legacy of Kain's case, that actually is the solution. Blood Omen. Okay, what's wrong, Mary? Are you okay? Blood Omen was essentially like a proto open world RPG. So the structure of Blood Omen, the story, the plot, the landscape would fit the concept of an open world RPG to a fucking T. So not only are vampires bigger than they ever have been before in our culture, but open world RPGs are the fucking in genre right now. So I mean, the stars are aligned. It's there. It's the opportunity. It's fucking there. They can remake Blood Omen to modern standards and fix all of the problems that were there in Blood Omen. They can rewrite the story with better continuity because there were obviously all these errors because they couldn't plan ahead and all this stuff. That can be rewritten to be corrected and form a cohesive whole without all the bullshit. Like, the potential's fucking there. I'm sorry. What's up, motherfuckers?
Seize him.
Suddenly, and discovered the Reaver suspiciously laid across my path. Again, I sensed nothing of that temporal distortion, the peculiar sense of...
Are you still there, Alex, or did you vanish, man?
I encountered the Reaver in William's chapel. Here with the blade, I suffered the same nameless dread that I had experienced when Janos first presented the Reaver to me. I felt at once repelled by the blade, and yet overwhelmingly compelled to seize it.
So, Raziel, here we are finally. You have no choice but to confront me now. And I am not so foolish as I've let you believe. We have business to conclude.
You knew I would lead the Seraphim to Janos, you vile bastard. You've been orchestrating my every move. My destiny is an amusement to you.
It was fun while it lasted. I think not, Raziel. Malik, do not let this creature leave. He poses a danger to the circle. Poor, deluded Raziel. Did you somehow imagine you had the guile to change history upon me? I'm the time streamer. I knew your every intention before you did, you imbecile.
Yeah, there's usually buttons.
Lord Mobius, there is trouble within. The circle is under
Hold
attack.
fast, Malik. This one is the real danger to us.
What are you trying to concoct here, Mobius?
And it's amazing because they killed fucking Malik. They killed him and put him in that armor and made him tortured and made him like a soulless husk. Because he failed the circle. And, you know, it's even sadder when you find out that he failed the circle because Mobius set him up to deliberately fail the circle by holding him here. So he fucked him too.
Creature, did you imagine I'd simply allow you to run loose, corrupting everything you encounter?
I admit that I've underestimated you to this point, Mobius. It's a mistake I won't repeat.
Wrong again, Raziel. Now, Malik, bolt the door.
Using his staff to disable my Wraith Blade, Mobius effectively disarmed me, leaving me with only one choice of weapon. And yet I confess, it was not the lack of options, but blind rage that made me take up the Reaver. In my fury, it felt as though my hand had acted of its own will. And now, that same hand clutched the hilt with unyielding strength, and I felt a constrained tingling, a remote but palpable sense of longing, as the disabled Wraith Blade tried vainly to embrace its physical twin.
Oh my god, we are heading for the mother of all plot twists.
Come to take your revenge, demon. Back to hell with you.
I recognize these two as my former brethren, in life as Seraphim, and in unlife as Cain's vampire sons. Melchiah and Zephyr, the weakest of Cain's brood. These bastards had no idea what future lay in store for them, how they would become the very thing they so despised. The Reaver hummed with ravenous anticipation. Janos had called it a vampiric blade, endowed with the power to drain its victims of their lifeblood. I was eager to see what the Reaver would do to these two. before my blade, I felt the Reaver's bloodthirst as keenly as I ever had when I was still a vampire. I could sense the boundary between us dissolving. The Reaver was consumed with my rage, and I was intoxicated by its bloodlust. The blade had a vitalizing effect on me. My physical energy no longer decayed over time, and the wounds inflicted by my foes healed almost instantly. The Reaver had made me invincible.
Come to reclaim the monster's black heart.
You'll have to get to us first.
My former brethren, Duma and Rahab, confronted me next. This all seemed so elegantly choreographed. Exhilarated by the Reaver, I was drunk with revelations. I could finally appreciate the delicious irony of Cain's blasphemous private joke, and I reveled as I colluded with him across the centuries. For it was I who put these bastards in their tomb, thus providing the corpses for Cain to raise as his vampire sons a millennium from now.
Come on, you fucker. Thank you for watching, I really appreciate you.
Get back to the pit you crawled from, demon.
And here at last was my brother Turel, who along with Duma would bear me into the abyss without questioning Cain's command. So dutiful and righteous, even as a vampire. I guess some habits die hard. The vampire Turel had eluded my vengeance. The Sarafan Turel would not.
Get fucked! Oh my god, we're coming to the fucking... maybe, possibly, the greatest fucking plot twist in the history of gaming.
Return the heart to me, and we can end this now. So, you've come to avenge that filthy parasite and reclaim his foul heart. You're a righteous fiend, aren't you? Apparently I am. No, vampire. This is where it ends. But you won't be leaving this room. Now, let's finish this. I'll make it mercifully quick. As you did for Janos? No, that beast had eluded us for far too long. Would have been a shame to end him too quickly. It's ironic, really. The great Janos Ordrin turned out to be no challenge at all. Thanks to you. Did you hear his cowardly screams when I tore that black heart out of his carcass? And so it ends. My history comes full circle.
Dude, you're about to see the fucking, oh my god, the plot twist, dude.
Sensing its twin, the Wraith Blade uncoiled itself from me, and instead wound lovingly around its former self. I felt its grip loosen, and as the blade left me, its absence chilled me more than its presence ever had. A foreboding sense of emptiness and loss stole over me, and a terrible revelation gathered like a storm at the edge of my awareness. With all other foes exhausted, the conjoined blades turned themselves on me, and I realized, finally, why I had sensed nothing when Janos offered me the blade. The Reaver was never forged to be a soul-stealing weapon. The ravenous, soul-devouring entity trapped in the blade was, and always had been, me. This is why the blade was destroyed when Cain tried to strike me down. The Reaver could not devour its own soul. The paradox shattered the blade. So, this was my terrible destiny.
Oh my god.
This purgatorial cycle for all eternity. I could not bear it. Despair overwhelmed me.
He is the fucking Soul Reaver. The blade that has the soul of the blade has always been Raziel. It was him all along. Before he came along, the sword devoured blood. So he has been in a fucking loop. He killed himself as a human, which led to him getting raised as a vampire, which led to him becoming a wraith, which led to him killing himself as a human. And the reason why the blade broke, why the seemingly indestructible Soul Reaver broke in the first game, when Cain whacked him with it, was because it can't kill itself. And the reason why the Soul Reaver, it can change history and alter the timeline, how they talk about the two Reavers meeting is the only way they can permanently alter the timeline, is because his very fucking existence is a paradox. Him being around the Soul Reaver is literally a fucking paradox in the fabric of space and time. Two versions of himself meeting. God damn it, is one of the greatest fucking twists in all of gaming, and it literally makes you rethink not only this game, but the entire series up to that point.
Don't fight it, Raziel. Give into it. Was this your destiny for me all along? Trust me.
I felt myself weakening, unable to hold on any longer. The Reaver was too strong. The compulsion to simply let go, too great. And then, a growing sense of vertigo and the familiar displacement. The paradoxical moment when my twin soul hovered both outside and inside the Reaver blade. This was the instant. The glimmer of temporal distortion Cain had been counting on all along. This was the edge of the coin, the minute flicker of probability upon which Cain had gambled everything.
Now you are free to reclaim your true destiny, Raziel.
Behind Cain's eyes, I could see new memories blooming and dying as history labored to reshuffle itself around this monumental obstruction. And I could see by the dawning horror on his face that perhaps we had strained history too far this time. That by trying to alter my fate, he may have introduced a fatal paradox.
My God. The Hilden. We walked right into their trap. Raziel, Janos must stay dead.
But Cain's warning was lost as I slipped into the spirit realm, too weak to maintain my physical form. And there, waiting for me as always, was the Reaver, the Wraith Blade, my own soul.
So he didn't even save him, he just delayed Raziel's fate.
Twinned and bound eternally to me. And I realized that I could never escape my terrible destiny. I had merely postponed it. History abhors a paradox.
Oh my God, and then it fucking ends right there. Good! It's one of the single greatest fucking game endings of all time. Dude, like, yeah, yeah. Of course, there's one more game after this. Well, not kind of Blood Omen 2. There's Legacy of Kain Defiance that picks up where this game left off, but that game is not out yet. Well, your remastered version. But imagine playing this game for the first time and ending right there and leaving you thinking, what the fuck? Oh. Like I said, dude, man, it's a slow burn, but the entire last act of Soul Reaver 2, with Janos and Vordor and the Circle, and that, it just, some of the greatest fucking writing in video game history. It just hits on so many fucking levels. And then it gets to the end, and you're literally sitting there thinking, what the fuck? Seriously, that's it? No, I've got to know what happens. It is like the mother of all fucking cliffhangers. And then, you're like, oh my god, Raziel's alive. That's great. But Kane's like, no dude, we made it worse. We made it worse. And you're sitting there thinking, what the fuck did he mean? We fell into their trap. Oh god, it's so great. It's so fucking great. And I remember the first time I played this game and I saw the ending, my fucking mind was blown. Like I said, I played a lot of games with a lot of plot twists, but that has to be one of the greatest fucking plot twists in any game of ever. And you see the entire game different. You see the whole fucking series different after that plot twist. It is fucking earth-shattering. I'm going to take a short break, and I'm going to switch to Blood Omen 2, and I'm going to play that and finish it. I'll be back. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'll be right back.